And we should be live now. It says we're live. Let me just double check in the group because obviously technology doesn't want to work today. Let's see. It appears that we're live. Perfect. Yeah, man. We are live. We are good to go.
Cool.
Alrighty, guys. Everybody, this is Rick James. I'm sure like throughout your entire life, everybody always gave you shit for that, but
yeah,
I'm not going to beat a dead horse. But this is my buddy Rick, one of my inner circle peeps who has been absolutely crushing it with everything related to anything gym related, and it's been so cool seeing your progress, dude. So while I'm going to send out some broadcasts, feel free to do like a quick introduction, like where you're from, how you got started with everything, all that good stuff.
Cool. My name is Rick James. My last name is Jungkunst. It's long in German. Nobody ever knows how to say it, so pretty much just call me Rick James. When the Dave Chappelle show came out, I was in college, so the Rick James thing really blew up, and everybody was like, "You're Rick James," and then the rest of it. So, I am from Atlanta, Georgia. I've lived in Atlanta my entire life. Can't tell by my hat. I'm an avid Falcons fan. That's probably my number one passion outside of marketing and things like that. I originally got my start in marketing at a company called Easy Care. We basically did automotive marketing. I was going to the Art Institute of Atlanta to make interactive. I wanted to make video games and Pixar movies. That was my deal, like creating that 3D life, or that visual content. And then my buddy, my best friend, Jonathan Thompson, came to me and said, "Hey, I got this new company. It's a marketing deal. We can pay you $50,000 a year. If you want to get started, I'll teach you the whole deal." And he's a very successful person. He's a mentor of mine. And then I just weighed my options. Do I want to continue in college and try to figure something out? Or do I want to go ahead and get money now, start helping my family, follow someone that I trust, And so that's what I decided was the best route for me. So I dropped out of college my senior year. I know it sounds crazy. Took this job and then just started the process of learning like how to be an account manager, how to sell people, how to, use Excel, like, all the stuff, everything you can think of, all the skills that you have, just starting from the ground up. And then kind of worked my way. I made my hay in automotive, worked at a call center, worked at a direct mail facility, actually worked at a car dealership to get more experience. And so my goal at the time was to become a well-rounded automotive marketing consultant because I had worked in all the different areas. I understood how the pieces connected so that I can convey that to the customer a lot better and give them a better experience. And so kind of that was the path that I took. Eventually, I realized that industry was not for me. It's not something that I loved. And it tore with my heart on a regular basis with a lot of things that go on with the industry. It's just a really tough industry in general.
Yeah.
And so it wore me out personally. I started getting negative. It brought me down as a person. And so then I had to make a decision like, why am I doing this? What am I doing? What do I really want to do? What do I care about? What am I passionate about? Because I know long term that if I'm doing what I care about and what I love, then I'll put more effort in and I'll get more in return. And so after a while in automotive, I saw that I was pretty much going in autopilot and I was not really going to go any further as far as that was concerned. So that's when I kind of started my transition to gyms.
Nice. So you obviously started in the beginning and you obviously worked for a company, but like at what point did you, because obviously you're full-time on your own now, right?
Yep.
Right. Yeah. So like at what point did you go from, okay, I need to not only stop working in automotive, but I need to switch gears, work with gyms, and then like at what point did you bail and just say, I can do this on my own?
Sure. So it was a slow transition over time. I did the same thing that most people did is I did it as a side hustle in the beginning.
Yeah.
So what I did, and I advise this to every single person right here who's either starting an agency from scratch or who's working a 9-to-5 right now. First of all, in my personal opinion, if your 9-to-5 job has no relation to what your side hustle is, it's almost a complete waste of time unless you're using it to fund that. So What I mean by that is I worked at an automotive agency that did Facebook ads and Google ads and YouTube ads and creative and email blasts and text blasts and all of that. So while I didn't care that much about automotive, I was spending my time learning how to run Facebook ads, learning how to run Google ads, soaking in all this information, right? So then my gym, my jiu-jitsu gym, I'm a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. I don't know if a lot of you guys may not know what that is, but basically my gym came to me and said, "Hey, Rick, we know you do marketing. Do you think you could help us with some Facebook stuff?" And I was like, let's figure it out. I'm willing to try. They said, we'll give you a free membership, basically, if you can figure it out, and we'll kind of use each other. And I said, perfect, let's try it. Set up some ads for them, was running them for a couple years, and just through time, just talking to a couple people. You know, it's a huge gym in the Atlanta area. It's a huge gym in the Southeast, so everybody knows them. So just the mentioning of my name, yeah, Rick runs our ads, Rick does our stuff. They would start to ask me questions. People say, well, can you do it for me? You know?
Nice.
And so then I started adding on one or two, but I was doing the old model where it's like, you know, ClickFunnels, Zapier, couple notifications here. That was about it. It wasn't that really robust of a program. I'm driving leads. That's about it.
Yeah.
So it was kind of hard for me to build an actual business off of that. I felt like it was a lot more challenging because I didn't have anything to present. It's like when you're going over, there's no software to show. You know, I run the ads and then it's going to go here and it's going to go here. And it just doesn't look like a cohesive business.
Yeah, it's like all verbal, especially with like high level now. My demo deck is like completely different.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so, you know, the money in the gym, really, I was just building experience and building. Really, what I was building was confidence.
Yeah.
That I actually do it, that I knew what I was doing. And I just slowly added pieces over time. You know, I bought a cheap course on martial arts marketing, followed that through, followed his steps, added little pieces there. Bought some other courses, found some pieces there. Bought Alex's courses and was like, oh, this is how you use Zapier and ManyChat or whatever, and added that piece in. So you just kind of grab things here and there and try to figure out what works for you and kind of build a solution to the problem. And then, so then what happened was, this is the best part. So in my personal opinion, if you have a plan B, plan A is not going to work. It's not going to. There's a reason why you have a plan B. It's because you don't like plan A. So for the 2 or 3 years that I was kind of doing this as a side hustle, I never fully committed to it because I always had a backup plan, which was my 9-to-5 job.
Yep.
So for example, when Friday night came up and I was like, man, I could develop some new campaigns. I could start working on onboarding. Let me come up with a pitch. Let me do all of that. I'd be like, I can get to that next week. I can chill this weekend because I had a job and I had income coming in. Right? If I didn't have that backup plan, I would have been forced to do that work on Friday, and this process would have been a lot faster. Right? So there's a saying that goes all the time that I talk about where the general was going to battle with his soldiers. He traveled across the ocean to a foreign country with 300 soldiers. When the soldiers got off the boats, he said, I want all of you to turn around and burn those boats. And the soldiers were like, whoa, like, we need to get away. Like, why would we burn the boats? If we die, we got to... Right? And the general said, if you have an escape route, you will never fight for your death.
Yeah.
And he's 1,000% correct. So then what happened to me is my job at the time was going through all these transitions. They like to transition a lot. Like, hey, guys, we got a new pay plan, and I promise you it's going to be the best thing you've ever heard, and we're just going to go this direction. And then the employees were just getting thrown left and right, and the plans never worked, and they had to readapt. And it was just this headache that I just did not want to deal with. And so when you have identified in yourself that you're a top performer in a company, that you have a very valuable skill set, you start to earn some power and some confidence in yourself. So then December 22nd, which was one day before our Christmas break, where we went on break for 2 weeks, the company pulled us all aside, all the salespeople, and said, hey guys, we got this new restructuring for 2019. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take away 20% of your salary, but we're going to give you 40% more in your commission opportunity. And so I was like,
wait a second.
First off, I don't appreciate the timing of this.
Right. Yeah.
Second of all, let me look at the numbers. Let me run some projections and see if this makes sense, because I'm willing to hear you out. Right. Well, in that meeting, they said, but I need you to sign this that you agree to it before you go home today. And I was like, that doesn't work for me.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I finished out my day that day. And the next day was a Friday, our last day of work before the break. And I didn't go in. And so then around 12 o'clock, I get a text message from my boss like, hey, Rick, you sick? Like, what's going on, man? Hope you're doing well. We didn't see you today. And I replied back and I said, I hope you feel, I want your company to feel the same pain I feel when I can't pay my bills. And they immediately, within 15 minutes, the CEO of the company called me.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Rick, what's going on? What are you talking about, bro? I said, bro, like, look what you guys are doing to us. Like, this ain't right. What you're doing is not right. You know, I'm one of your best employees. I outperform everyone on a regular basis.
Yep.
You're undercutting me huge. You should be giving me a raise and paying me more. And then you try to take me backwards, right? So then we had this conversation, and basically he was like, hey, if you come up with a new pitch, a new program, a new plan that works for us, we can, you know, discuss it and see what's possible. So that weekend I thought about it and I said, what plan am I going to come up with? How can I build my value in this company? What can I show them to show that I'm worth $150,000 a year or whatever? And then I came to the realization, I've already done that.
Yeah.
For the past 3 years, I've already shown you. You already know I'm a bad mother. We already talked on the phone. You already confirmed that. You already confirmed that. So then I was like, no, you make $500,000 a year. I make 60. You present me the plan.
Right.
And they were like, okay, we'll figure it out. I got bent out of shape. 2 weeks later, I said, here's my notice. I'd rather go a completely different route. I can see that you guys are not about me. I put in the effort. You're not willing to pay me out. I've done this for 10 years. I'm no longer doing it. I know the value myself. I know you need me more than I need you. Let me move on. I can get another job tomorrow. So I burnt my boat, had no way to go back. And from that day forward, prospecting, going hard, building my business. It was a game changer. The day I stepped away from my plan A is when plan B exploded like a rocket ship.
Yep. So like when you quit your job, like, did you already have all of these different skills? Because obviously you were working at that company, but what exactly were you doing? Because I know you said you were working in sales. So like, did you already have all these skills? Like, did you take all these courses already, like while you were there?
So not only did I take those courses, but I was also learning from other departments. So what I would do is I would set a meeting with the head of the person who ran our Facebook ads, and I would meet with him and say, hey, how do you run ads? How do you click them? What do you do? What do you send? How's that work? How's the audience work? Why can't we change it all the time?
Right.
And I soaked it in. Well, my main job was account retention. So I met with general managers of car dealerships, sold them on $30,000, $40,000 marketing packages, and then did the recording calls, all of that stuff.
Got it. Okay.
So I had a lot of sales experience and a lot of customer service experience in explaining technology and training their staff on how to use a CRM system and, you know, why their Google ads are working or not working, all of that stuff. So I slowly over time kind of built that knowledge base. Got it.
So you kind of saw like the inside look on how the company worked, and you're like, you know what, I could probably do this on my own because I'm kind of doing it anyways.
Yep.
Right?
So then when you do the math yourself and you say, I'm managing $500,000 a month in revenue at this company, and on a yearly basis, I'm only bringing home maybe 1%, maybe, right? So then I sold a couple deals in my freelance, and I was like, wait a second, I'm bringing home 85%.
Right, yeah.
So instead of 50 customers at 500,000, I can now have 10 customers at 5,000 and basically make the same money with a lot less time, lot less effort, lot less work, lot less stress. So then I was working 10 to 20 hours a week casually with people I like, doing something I love, making the same money as I was working 60 hours a week, getting thrown around by a corporate company and getting, you know, all the things that go along with that.
Right. And I know you and I talked about it. Like, you're still playing like Call of Duty in the middle of the day, like taking a little break.
Oh, of course.
I'm guilty of it too, man. Like, I'll take a little break here and there to play some video games. It's just like,
I have to break the monotony up because 8 hours straight of doing the same thing, like, it just didn't work for me. Yeah. And also, like, you don't get into owning your own agency to do something you hate and to work more.
Yeah.
Now, I know you want to, and you add that passion. Dude, I work at like 11 o'clock at night. Like, I get it. Yep. But at the same time, you still want to enjoy your time. So right now, literally my day is I wake up in the morning, do a bunch of meetings till about 2 p.m., something like that. I'll play Call of Duty or something, or go walk my dog, or go clean my house or something from like 2 to 4. And then I'll build out some things till like 7 p.m., meet with my girlfriend, we'll eat, we'll watch Netflix. And then I'll come in here at night and play Call of Duty and like build a campaign on the side in the waiting room, right? I'm like, all right, I'm dead, fellas. Let me know when I'm back.
Right.
I'm yelling at me. I'm like, sorry. You know, so I'd kind of do, but you know, that's why you got two screens. You can look on one, work on one, but you know what I mean? So, but I've been playing video games my whole life since I was 2 years old. That's never going to go away. I don't watch Netflix. I only watch sports. I don't watch TV. I couldn't tell you what's going on with The Walking Dead. Right. I get my little zone to kind of take myself away from reality, and that's it. And then play football and, you know, stuff like that.
That's funny. But yeah, man, let's kind of talk about let's talk about you landing all those clients. So obviously, like in the headline for the video, you and I were talking. You said you landed like 20 clients in the last like 2 months or so.
Man,
Dude, like what's been going on? I like, especially for gyms, everyone watching this are probably like, how the hell is he landing clients, let alone gym
Crush.
clients? I want to say, first and foremost, guys, people are buying right now 1000%. You just have to be innovative. And I know you and I already kind of talked about this. So like, how are you landing so many clients and also like meetings? Like, what are you doing to get so many people still interested in what you're doing? And then let's kind of talk about the fulfillment side of it after that.
Sure. So the first thing that I would advise anyone before you go into how do you pitch anything or what do you sell or what do you offer is all of this boils down to mindset. All of it. If you are a positive person that looks for positive outcomes and looks for solutions when you're presented with an opportunity or a challenge, then it'll work out for you, right?
Yep.
So when I lost my job, when business partners did me dirty, when coronavirus hit, I never looked at that as, oh God, how am I going to make my money? I'm going to lose my business. What am I going to do? I didn't have that in my heart because I'm extremely confident in my ability. And I'm always looking for, okay, cool, that happened. I can't change it. What can I do to make this going forward and to fix that moving forward?
I got excited when the coronavirus came around for business because I was like, I know all these wannabe agencies are going to completely fold. I'm going to have more prospects to go after. I know I can sell. I got excited. Anyways, go ahead. Yeah, I just wanted to share.
What happened is first off, high level, without a doubt, changed my business model.
Yep.
I can't even express that any further. That was the game changer that made it happen. So I introduced it a couple gyms. I made the transition where I transitioned my gyms off that older model to high level and was doing that in January, February, kind of just getting some stuff going. You know what I mean? And I had got like 2 or 3 small customers that were like rock star customers, like the kind of customers that you want that if you do them right, they can't wait to refer you.
Yep.
They promote you. So
Yep.
They were already big in the gym industry, had lots of connections, and were willing to promote me if I did the right thing and I helped them, right? So then got a couple of those clients on, and then literally Corona hit. And everybody was like, "Er!" And keep in mind, I signed up 3 clients. A week later, Corona hit. So
That's
they
awesome.
didn't even have the ability for the next 60 days to even use my service. So then I was like, crap, like they're going to cancel or they're going to want to pause their billing because we don't have anything to advertise. Their gym is literally closed.
Right.
Because we didn't know what was going to happen, right? That first 2 weeks, you're like, I don't even know what's going on here. Like, can we?
Right.
Is this about to be martial law? Are we going to war? Like, what exactly is going on here, right? So for 2 weeks, for sure, it was like that depression. Like, I'm just going to stay home, try not to get sick. I don't know what's going on, but we'll figure it out, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, I started talking to one of the gym owners, and I'm like, dude, we got to figure something out. Like, people got to work out. I got to work out. Like, what can we do? And so one of the gym owners and I started going back and forth about this virtual challenge program that we can do. And we're like, okay, if we could do live Zoom classes, we could do a Zoom nutrition plan. If we can sell them on this and that, it's pretty much the challenge, except for you're just not working out in the gym. And then when they transition to the gym, we can use that as kind of a leeway. And we're like, I don't know if people would be interested in doing all virtual, but let's try it. So we set it up for his gym, worked out all the kinks, and it started working. And he was selling it. And he was like, man, like people actually like this virtual thing a lot.
And their overhead is non-existent pretty much. Like it's something that even when they open up, it's like, should we be doing this now? Like, you know what I mean?
So 2 weeks into it, the first gym owner running the virtual thing said, I don't know if I want to open my gyms again.
That's funny. Oh man.
So he makes $5,500 revenue, $5,500 a month from his gym, right? I can't show my screen, but let me look at it right now just for the month of April. And keep in mind, $5,500 revenue, man, he probably brings home like 1,000, 5,500. Like it ain't good. Because that includes his overhead, his rent, his bills, paying all of his coaches, all that jazz, right?
Yep.
So right now, oh, he changed it. We actually have a new development that we're working on right now. Okay, cool. So just for the month of April, he's already brought in 17 grand.
Whew. For April?
For April.
Nice. Good stuff.
So if you think about that, if April his gym was open, he would have brought in 5,500 with probably a 20 or 30% profit margin.
Right.
With Corona, he brought in 17,000 with about a 90% profit margin.
That's awesome. That's huge. And I'm sure they're jumping for joy, like going crazy over you. And then probably, your referrals are coming in more and more too.
That's exactly right.
Yep.
So yeah, we practiced it with his gym because I knew he was a really good salesperson. We worked out all the kinks. And then I posted in my group and I reached out to my local coaches saying, hey, I got a solution for you. Something we're working. It's working really well for this gym owner. I don't want to leave you guys out to dry. Let's schedule a call and see if we can make this work for you. Right. Added one gym owner. That gym owner had 4 locations, got them up and running. They referred a friend of theirs and it just kept refer. So for me in the beginning, I'll tell you, this was the key. I lowered my fee during Corona.
Yep.
Lowered it to $300 a month.
300?
300. I'll tell you why. So first of all, as you know, High Level doesn't cost me anything.
Right. Yeah.
$300 a month. The software costs me nothing. I also told them, I'll help you set up your Facebook ads, but I'm not going to run them. And as you know, setting up Facebook ads, not really that complicated. 20, 30 minutes, boom, 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 done. Let it run. Right. So I knew that in Corona, I had to overgive so that when this was over, they were like, that guy helped me when I had nothing and my gym was closed and I was in trouble. So I was like, if I over deliver, I know this will pay off for me in the end.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I over delivered, built it all. You just pay me $300 a month. I'll keep your fee low because I don't know if this is going to work for you or work for me. And I don't know if you're going to get your revenue back. Right. Played that game. And they were like, agreed, man, you're so thoughtful. You really care about this industry, which I do. Got them running, got success. They added 5 gyms. They referred another person who had 3 gyms. They referred another person who had 2 gyms. Bam, here we are. Now the price is going back up because we're coming out of it. And it's so wildly successful
and you have pretty much endless case studies now too.
That's right. So I did a volume play in the very beginning so I could get 10 or 15 gyms on this program with results. So then I could take screenshots, share it, spread it, boom. And that's what I did. And then it's blowing up like wildfire now.
Damn, good stuff. Are you, even though like you're having like a low price point, are you having a lot of people with objections and things like that? Or are they pretty much just like, it's $300, screw it, I'll try it?
Dude, compared to my competitors, they're like,
it's like
a no-brainer.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Right. They're basically doing the same thing that everybody does, or that I'm doing the same thing. I'm getting free leads. You're paying me to be a free lead. So really, I was like, man, if I could just get you in, even if it's a low cost, you're going to refer me to somebody that I'm going to charge $500 or $1,000 down. And either way, like I said, I don't even have any overhead.
Right.
I have me. The system runs by itself. Once I set you up, it's an hour. I charge an onboarding. I charge $500 for the onboarding. So they pay for all my time. And the $300 is just
to keep it running.
Sitting back, answering support questions and making sure nothing breaks.
Right. So like with all that too, like that's a big part of it too. Like I think when you're in the position to scale and once you've like duplicated everything, it's like once you bring on a new client, it's so seamless. It's almost like you can almost automate the whole thing, especially with High Level. Like my stuff, every time I get a new client in, even creating a new account in High Level, it's all automated now. And I literally just go in and I've got a Google Drive with all my images, all my ad copy. I just plug them in. It takes like 45 minutes.
Exactly. And I even developed my snapshot a little bit better. So Corona was perfect for me because it gave me all this free time all of a sudden because everything just stopped in life to where I could really develop this and think about this. Okay, how can I make this scalable? That's all I did for the first 2 weeks of Corona. Scalable. How can I do it? How can I make High Level work better? How can I make it duplicate? Because in the beginning when I was using High Level, onboarding, everything took me like 8 hours. Like it was complicated because I was doing it one by one and I had to, then I figured out the system and now it's like push of a button. It might like 30 minutes onboarding, the client is running and done. And so I was able to turn them really, really fast and get 15 or 20 really quickly and build up my revenue so that I could stay profitable. Because remember, like my business is gyms. So I was losing revenue too. All my other clients, people that can't do virtual, they all paused.
Yeah.
So out of desperation, I had to make something happen. So I got my revenue to where it was reasonable. And then, now we have a full program. I've developed it. I have the case studies. I have the results. So I can go and say, now we're $1,000 a month just for the software. If you want us to run your Facebook ads, it'll be XYZ.
Damn, nice. Okay. So you're going to be charging $1,000 flat for the CRM for High Level pretty much?
Yep.
Per month?
Per month. Everything
So
out, everything ran for you, full support, the whole consultation, the whole 9 yards. The only thing I don't do is actually run their Facebook ads, but I have training in the system that they can follow. I'm going to do Facebook Lives and just same kind of things you do, coaching.
Okay, cool. You said you have like a separate Facebook group for like different prospects and clients of yours, right?
I don't have a separate Facebook for prospects right now, like you do your free group. I'm going to work on that. I have a paid group that all my members and all my clients are in, and I'm really focused on that because it's something new that I'm doing. So I really want to make sure I'm not splitting my time, and I want to provide value. But in the future, I'm the same model you are.
Nice, good stuff.
And I learned that from watching you. You know, most of you guys, a lot of times, I 1,000% think you should buy courses from people. But even if you can't, you can watch what they do.
Yep.
Watch their process. Watch how they Alex sends messages on Facebook to remind you about all the meetings. Watch the email nurturing sequences. Watch how he does, and you just slowly build that. Start trying it yourself. You're never going to be perfect, but Alex has been doing this for years and just slowly built his skill set over time, right?
Yeah, 100%. And dude, like I'm glad you brought up the Facebook group thing because that's something that I actually haven't implemented yet. Like obviously I've done it for the agency coaching stuff, but I've been really wanting to get into it for my niche. And I do have like a separate Facebook group for my clients, but having something that's free where I provide value and do like the same process as like, this group, that's something that I want to get into. Kind of like,
so for my clients, the way we have it set up is they have a free group where they're posting just mainly generic nutrition and fitness information and then results from the paid program.
Right.
And then they have the paid group where they do live Zoom calls, live Zoom classes, like just a lot more interaction and things like that. So we got that same model that you're kind of doing set up for my specific clients too, which adds more value to the package that they're buying, right? When you're selling a prospect, you can say you get this private Facebook group where we do X, Y, Z. So it just makes the package more robust.
I think another thing too, and it's something that we're doing in the client group that I have is like, especially with sharing wins, it's gonna increase your retention because other gym owners or other loan officers, for example, with me, they're gonna be like, okay, why can this loan officer do it, and why isn't my shit working? So I need to get on top of my game.
I say that all the time. Yeah. So yeah. I had a gym that came back to me the other day and was like, man, this isn't working. These people think X, Y, Z. Like this is a bad pitch. We got to change everything. And I said, man, like I got 5 other gyms doing this exact same thing that started around the same time you did. They're crushing it. They're not having, they have yet to even say what you're saying right now. There's got to be something to that.
Right.
So then we did some investigation and they were like, oh, wait, yeah, we do need to listen to a sales pitch. And then I said, I worked at a gym too. And I said, my coworkers would get that response, but I wouldn't. Why is that? How come nobody ever told me, Rick, you did a bait and switch offer. You told me it was free, but now how come they never said that to me personally? Because it was the way I presented it.
Yeah.
So when you talk them through that, then they do some self-discovery and they're like, oh yeah, that does make sense. If you did just come off and I told them it's free and I immediately tried to sell them that would, and I'm like, right. It's called Guide to Discover. So I guide them to discover their own problem. And now once other gyms are posting wins saying like, hey, this is the first time I've ever sold anything like this. I sold 3. I'm feeling more comfortable as time goes on. Then they're just like, oh, it's on us.
You know what I think is so cool? I don't want anyone to think like, obviously what you're doing during Corona with like such a low management fee, that's like so awesome. It's really helping out the community. But like, I don't think people realize that you're essentially paying for your services in the future.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, you have a low barrier price point. First of all, it's awesome that you're doing that. But second of all, you're pretty much saying, hey, look, once this is over, I'm setting myself up to make more money because they're not going to go anywhere else. Obviously, I know my shit. Obviously, they don't want to lose me. So, boom, you're pretty much funding
I
future.
built my testimonials. I built my referral system. I built everything I possibly need off just lowering my price point a little bit to get 10, 15 clients to where, because it's really hard as an agency when people say, well, can you send me a referral for a customer that you have XYZ and you only got like 1 or 2?
Yeah.
Right. You can overcome it. I've overcome it. You can make it happen. But when you got 15 and you're like, well, how many gyms do you have on there? And now I have 40. They're like, objections are out the window. They're like, okay, clearly, there's no way 39 other gyms will sign up for this if you didn't know what you're doing.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I guess that kind of like brings me to my next point. Like now that you're growing, I know you kind of talked about some things. You're like, dude, I gotta get my onboarding more on point. I gotta do, this, that, and the third. But like, what struggles are you starting to have? Like now that you're at the point where like, I need to bring on some team members. I need some additional help. Like what is your day to day now? Like, what does that look like now that you have all of your fulfillment pretty much taken care of? You've got your sales processes in place, referral program, all that good stuff. Like, what are you doing now to scale?
So now this weekend, literally specifically, I am wrapping up my automated onboarding process.
Nice.
I have my payment integrated to Stripe. Everything interacts the right way when I do it. Everything is sent automatically. They fill out the onboarding. The customer is basically going to onboard themselves by following a series of videos of just filling out Facebook integration, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm finalizing that today. I actually have I have a 4Gym onboarding at 2:45 after this.
Nice.
So it will be kind of my test client to kind of walk through that automated onboarding. So I'm finalizing that because next week I have 2 salespeople that are going ham.
Nice.
So I wanted to make sure before I pumped in volume that I was able to execute at that level. And the number one time suck that I had was onboarding new clients.
Yep.
So I was having a tough time. Like, how can I prospect and onboard and check ads and add support? I was just getting spread in too many different directions. So I had to identify, take a step back and say, what do I spend my time on? What's costing me the most time? What part don't I like the most, which was onboarding? How can I automate that? Looked at Christine Seal, looked at a bunch of other sets, say, what are they doing? Watch their videos, watch their stuff and say, there is a way. Okay, cool. And then again, piece things together.
Yeah.
Like if you're starting out, guys, as an agency, this is the number one advice that I can give you. There is no perfect answer. There's no perfect solution. There's no perfect software. There's no perfect marketing mix. Nothing is perfect. You're not going to find the perfect person, Josh Forti, Russell Brunson, Alex, who just has the plan that works for you. You're an individual person with individual needs, different strategy, different tactics, different skill set, right? So what you have to do is search for the perfect answer. Try this course, try this Facebook group, watch this video, watch that. And then you slowly piece it together and figure out what works for you. And that's going to be your perfect solution. So
people need to innovate. A lot of people just looking for a copy and paste thing. Like you can only do so much with what you're given. It's going to work to an extent. Like at some point you're going to have to innovate, especially in different niches. Like when you're learning different processes and different systems for different niches, you got to innovate.
The way that I did that is the same way. So eventually one of my long-term goals is owning a jiu-jitsu gym because that's one of my passions. It helped change my life. I was in a very bad spot before I started that, and I saw the transition that it made for people. To do that, I went to different gyms, spent time with them, and absorbed and soaked all the good things they did and all the bad things they did. So the same thing in the fitness marketing industry, I asked gym owners, hey, tell me about that guy's program. He's the biggest guy in the industry. What's that about? Here's what they like. Here's what they don't like. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to make sure not to do that. And then another prospect say, yeah, I'm working with this other guy. He uses high level. Here's what he does. And I'm like, that's an interesting model. And they're like, yeah, we don't really like it because of X, Y, Z. And I'm like, okay. So then I built my value propositions of all the things that they hated about everyone else. And that was my key.
So pretty much doing like your own like competitor research in a sense.
Right. So one of the things they always told me is these bigger agencies have a great program, but the cost is so high that if you don't sell or you don't have a great month, you're losing money.
Yeah.
I was like, they're not conscious of the profit margin of a gym. They don't understand that gyms don't profit that much, that you really have to be conscious of that. And so then I said, okay, if I approach the customer in my sales pitch as, hey, I'm very conscientious of your profit margin. I want to make sure this works for you and works for me. Let's take a fair value and then we'll move from there and blah, 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 blah. They're like, thank you so much. Like, we appreciate someone who's finally willing. And I said, I'm not going to upsell you all the time. I'm not going to constantly ask you for money or hide hidden features. I'm going to give you robust everything, but I'm going to get equal return and value for the offer that I offer you. And they're like, love that. And so I took all those negative feedbacks and I made it a positive for me.
That's awesome, dude. That's so cool. That's so cool to see. If you guys have any questions for Rick or for myself, ask them below. Give us some likes, hearts, all that fun stuff. Obviously, Rick's been spitting that fire, man. I love it, dude. You've been it's crazy to see, like, dude, you've been killing it lately.
I was a baby, dude. Go ahead and say it. I came into your group with nothing. I'd ask you random. Had like 1 or 2 clients. I'm trying to figure it out, and then, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. It's so cool. It's so cool. What's that?
You just stir up action by just doing. Gary Vee is one of my favorite people. If you don't follow Gary Vee, you're missing out. You're missing out because that guy is so on point with so many things he says. It's not even funny. And what does he say? people ask him all the time, hey, Gary, I was thinking about doing this one idea, and do you think, and he just goes, yes, you should do it.
Every single time.
Whatever that is, you just need to do. Should
Right.
I create 5 pieces of content? Yes. Yes. People do too much planning, too much searching, too much studying, too much listening. Just start building something.
Yep.
And it'll lead down that path that you're looking for. But I spent way too much time trying to find the perfect solution with what I call shiny object syndrome.
Yep.
Right. I followed Josh Forty, and I followed Russell Brunson, and I followed Dan Henry, and I was like, one of these guys has got to have the perfect solution that I could follow. And it was a complete waste of my time. Instead of just finding a person like Alex that I can relate to or whatever, and just sticking with that until it worked or it didn't, and doing everything they said to prove to myself that this could work or not work, and then saying, you know what, now I need to take it to the next level. Let me go to Josh for his consulting or this or that. I was spread way too thin, not enough action.
That's a big part of it too. Like, and I'm guilty of it too. There's been times where I bought so many different programs, coaches, whatever. And it's like, when you do that, you don't know who to listen to. And then you blame the coach or whoever for you not, being successful. It's like, dude, you gotta slow down. You gotta listen to one person, implement everything they say, keep your head down, and just kind of go about it that way.
You get desensitized.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many email nurture sequences I've opted out of now because I signed up for so many. It's like I can't even keep up anymore. But because, and here's the reason why. Part of my strategy, and you learned this from Russell, I'm sure too, is funnel hacking, right? So every time I saw something, an ad on Facebook that I thought was relatable, I just opt in. And I'm like, let me see how this path goes. And then he sends me an email. And then he says there, and then this is his sales funnel. And I would study all that. So I would opt in all the time and just study, and then say, I see a pattern here. Okay, why are all these rich people, when they send me an email, they don't type paragraphs, they have all these spacing in between?
Yeah.
I never understood that at first. But then I saw 30 people doing it. I'm like, there's got to be something to this.
Right.
And so once you see that pattern, you're like, okay, this clearly works because all of these guys are doing the exact same thing. They're just changing out the details.
Yeah. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, I'm kind of guilty of that too. Like, I used to just go on different websites and hope that they would pixel me and then shoot me an ad on Facebook or whatever. And
exactly.
Yep. But yeah, guys, feel free to ask any questions below. I'm going to get to some of the comments now. Let's see. Brianna said, "Go high level is a game changer for my biz as well, for sure." Brian said, "I want to get started with high level. What would you recommend to learn how to use it better, and what type of campaigns are you running it with?" Brian, I'm looking to do a Go High Level masterclass in the group at some point. We've got some stuff in the course, but for me personally, I don't use all the bells and whistles, to be honest. Like, Rick, I don't know if you use like everything. I'm pretty much just using it for the lead nurturing. Like, we're doing voicemail drops, emails, texts, like all that stuff.
My scheduler, my agency, and my clients all in high level.
Like every aspect, like even the funnels, like the surveys, all that stuff.
I have a couple of Zapier integrations that are just necessary.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I do nothing outside of high level.
Got it. Okay, cool. All right.
Process repeatable very, very easily. And plus it all syncs together. So, another thing is all my competitors right now aren't using high level.
Yeah.
They're using the older model, which I also followed. So I understood like setting up ClickFunnels, managing Zapier, managing Agile CRM, ClickSend, all of that stuff, front app for communications with clients. It's very complicated.
Right.
And if you're not a technology person and something breaks, you have to investigate like every angle of it to try to figure out what the problem is.
Right. Yeah.
So then I also had to tell my clients, sign up for this and sign up for that and sign up for this and sign up for that. And they have all these different charges coming out, and it just became overwhelming.
Right.
So
yeah.
I kind of say, I got an all-in-one place. Your salespeople only use one thing. You only look in one thing. Your reporting's there. Your communication is there. One charge included. And the thing I'm charging you is cheaper than if you put all those softwares together.
Yep.
It was a no-brainer. You know what I mean? So it was easy for them to say. And plus, like I said, for me to onboard before on that old system took me 2 or 3 hours. Now it's like 15 minutes. It's done, and everything is flawless. I don't have to, recreate the wheel.
Right, for sure. Yeah, it's literally just a one-click upload. You don't got to mess around with all the different, like pulling new samples or anything like that, like with Zapier and all that good stuff.
Yep. So what I would recommend for getting signed up for high level, use Alex's affiliate link or whatever. get the course that he's going to offer you guys and follow that A to Z, and start with building out your agency first. Build out your agency, go through every single setting humanly possible, get into the high level group, read through all the posts, see all the cool things that people are doing, and slowly develop your software and try your best to find a solution within that software without going anywhere outward until somebody says that's not possible. You need another solution.
Right.
The mistake I made is not looking through all the options and being like, duh. You know what I mean? For
sure. Let's see. We got some more comments. Let's see. Jogdev said, awesome tips. Wow, tips. So it says Facebook user. I don't know who said it. It's not showing up for me, but it said, hey, Rick, I know your voice is massively important in sales. My tonality is lacking. I don't have that high energy / pep in my step. How can one improve their tonality like you?
Oh man, that is such a big one. Big one. So that is something that I had to develop over time with a lot of practice. People say that to me all the time. They're like, man, you're such a great speaker. You have a great energy. You have a great.
It's exhausting though. It really is.
Oh man. Like when you turn it off, like you got to turn it off. Like,
yeah.
You have to turn on. The first thing I would say is you need practice. You have to practice. The second thing I would say is my old boss used to tell me this. He said, when I'm feeling my worst is when I dress my best. Because there's something about having a suit and tie on that changes the way you present yourself to people. So if you need that extra push and that extra motivation in the beginning, maybe that's something you should consider. Getting yourself dressed in the morning, getting professional, feeling clean, doing your hair, feeling sharp. If you feel sharp, you perform sharp.
Yep.
Right. And so maybe you start that way and you slowly build your confidence. But what's going to really happen is confidence and experience is really what's going to do it.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, like the only way you're going to get your next sale is when you get the first sale. Mm-hmm. And then you get the confidence. And you're like, oh my God, that actually worked. What I do actually works. It's the same thing with your service. Once you get great results from a client, then you feel more confident about what you're offering and it comes off, right? If you don't believe 1,000% and love 1,000% what you are offering, your client will know that. Without a shadow of a doubt, I know my process works and they can feel it when I'm talking to them because I know it's been proven I don't have a case where it didn't work. So it's easier to
right.
So
yep,
I would
sure,
say find a person you could practice on. I reached out to a client of mine and I told him straight up, one of my friends, right? So if you're looking for your niche in the very beginning, you don't know what to do. The first thing I highly recommend is doing something you love and you're passionate about. When I stepped back, I said, in my free time, if I wasn't working, what would I be doing? I'd be doing something with jiu-jitsu, fitness, or I'd be doing something with video games or something with the Falcons. It's one of those.
Something with the Falcons.
The Falcons are not going to hire me.
Right.
Right. Video games, I'm a little too old. I don't necessarily want to go down that route of being a designer. So then there's fitness and gyms. Okay, cool. Who do I know in the fitness gym industry that I have a good relationship that I could approach with this type of model and say, hey, if I was to provide this service for you, do you think you would kind of go with it? I won't charge you anything or charge you just what it cost me, but I would love the opportunity to earn your business.
There's so many.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Dude, I was going to say there's so many like, I hope people don't think or look at me like a guru or whatever, but like there's so many different gurus on Facebook who are like, don't do free trials. Don't do this. Like take as much money as you can. I'm like, dude, if you do that, you're not going to be confident. You're going to be freaking petrified for them to pay you. Like, At least that's how I was. I was so scared in the beginning.
Sometimes I'll be honest with you, like people will reach a certain level and they'll forget where they came from.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
A lot of these guys are so rich and so popular. They're like, man, I just launched a course and today we sold $116,000 in one launch. And I'm like, yeah, because you've built your authority over the past 5 years.
Yeah.
That's not realistic for a person starting out ground zero.
Yep.
So you take that first client, you work out all the kinks and all the promises, you get them good results and you say, hey man, do you happen to know, I'm trying to grow my business. Do you know like another guy you can kind of refer me to and help me out? And they're like, yeah, dude, I got your back. Like, let's do it. You know what I mean? And then that becomes 2 and becomes 3 and becomes 5 and becomes 8 and becomes, So a lot of times, like, I think people get in their own way. Just ask the question. You don't know the answer is no until you ask the question. And there's nothing wrong with asking a question.
Yeah.
Would you refer me to one of your friends? Do you have anybody you can send me out to? Oh, you don't? Okay, cool. No problem. I appreciate you. Do you need anything from me? Okay, great. Cool. Moving on. Right? And if they do, then say, awesome, man. Thank you so much. I'll throw you $100 or I'll give you a free month or, man, whatever you want to do for the referral, and boom, you know? Yeah. So what I personally do, I'll tell you what I do. I pay them for referrals. So my gym owners, if they refer another client, I pay them $100 a month for every month that that client stays on with me. And so people say, oh my God, Rick, but if that client stays on for a year, you just paid that other client $1,200.
Yep.
Yeah, I did. But now what is that client going to do for me?
They're going to
refer me to other people. Not only they sold that person, I didn't even have to sell. Yeah. I did a demo and they're like, well, I already talked to Jackie. She said, you're killing it. I'm ready to sign up. It's a letdown, right? Okay. And then the person that I'm paying this money to refer this person are also a part of my retention. So when referee has a problem, who do you think she calls? Yeah. The person who referred her. And what do you think she says? Oh, man, you can work through that. I worked through that. I'll help you, blah, blah. So it's like I'm building this team. And am I giving up some money? 100%. But I don't have to do anything. I built a sales team. I'll pay that all day. I'll give you 10% of my profit all day to handle that because, again, my profit margin is so high, right? For example, if I'm making 1,000, I give them 100, so I make 900. I usually allocate another 200 just to the business. So I have $700. Actually, per month, I'll really give you 200, right? So you just have to kind of think about that, not be greedy and say, how can I use this to my advantage in the long run and play the volume game? That's what I'm personally trying to do. I want 100 gyms with as little effort from me as humanly possible with money just rolling in.
Yep.
That's my goal. Because the ultimate freedom, in my opinion, is financial freedom. And I want the ability to travel and not be tied to a desk. And the only way I can do that is by automating processes, giving up a little bit of the profit to get a little bit of freedom back.
Yep. And I was going to say, that's a big thing too. Like when you're doing your referral program, these are going to be clients for life. Like you're paying them and you're also getting them, obviously great results. They're never going to leave. They have no reason.
I have a client right now that on a monthly basis is getting a $500 Venmo from me on a regular basis. Do you think that client wants to quit me?
Absolutely not. Of course not. Right. Yeah, for sure. We've got some more comments coming in. Let's see. All right. Let me pull this back up. Yeah, feel free to ask some more questions, guys. And if you're enjoying this, obviously give us some likes, hearts, all that fun stuff.
Yeah. Would love. You're never going to get the perfect answer out of any one interview. I could go on for days about all the things that you do. What you guys need to focus on is what do you love, what do you care about, and what can you put your passion and energy to? What will you work on at 11 o'clock at night on a Thursday night? Whatever that is, that's the route that you need to go. If you're in a 9-to-5 job right now, put 9 to 5 in the comments. If you're in a 9-to-5 job, put 9 to 5 comments right now and you're doing this as a side hustle. And I will tell you, if you don't love every day of going to that 9 to 5, you need to quit.
Yeah. I love the engagement ask too, man. I love it. I feel like I'm always so annoying with asking for engagement and people are annoyed with me. But
I love that from you and Josh Forty.
Oh, okay, nice. There we go.
Every time he comes on a live, he says, guys, do team live or team replay. And now I understand why. Comment again.
That algorithm, man. Right. Let's see. Brianna said, what is the breakdown of the program that is killing it for all of your clients? Also, what are they charging monthly for the membership? So obviously, I'm sure you don't want to give everything away, but like, what's like a high level view of like some basics with like what it is that you're doing? I know you said you're doing like Zoom stuff.
So they're basically offering a virtual training program, which it's now going to kind of transition into a hybrid because gyms are opening back up. And they're basically offering them a challenge program at home. And it includes a nutrition plan, workout plans, a membership site, online live Zoom classes, and then check-in accountability conversations with a coach once a week or every 2 weeks. Right. Or whatever the plan is.
By the way, are these shit, what was I going to ask? I forgot what I was going to ask, to be honest. Hopefully it comes back to me. But like, what are your clients charging for something like that?
Rough estimate $200-$300.
Got it. Okay, cool. Oh, here's my question.
They also some charge weekly, some charge monthly. They're all trying different things to try to figure out the exact price point. Again, this has been live for a month and we're finding new and better ways to do XYZ. So that's an ever evolving thing. They're trying to find the right price point for their strategy, for what they offer, for what, because every gym, like, and this is the thing you have to know about your clients, like none of them are the same, and you're going to have to adapt the strategy in different angles of different ways to make it work for them.
I remember my question. So like with these programs, are these like workouts that don't need any like workout equipment, like it's all at home type of thing? So it's pretty much suitable for most people?
Yep. Most of it, if you know anything about fitness, is going to be body weight and HIIT type exercises. So dynamic movements. And really, if you learn anything about fitness, and this is just a fitness tip for everybody out there, it's not about the amount of weight that you're using. It's not. It's the heart rate, getting your heart rate up, the number of reps that you do, and the intensity in which you do the reps. So I worked at a gym for a very long time. So you can get to 100 pounds multiple different ways. You can lift 100 pounds straight up, or you can take 50 pounds and be really intense with your press.
Right.
Focus your muscle. And that's actually the better way to do it, because heavy weight onto your muscles and your tendons actually deteriorates your body. So if you do more intensity with your workout and less strenuous on physical weight, you actually get better results. So the at-home workout actually is a really good strategy. And so they do at-home workouts where it's like do 10 push-ups, 10 sit-ups, 10 jumping jacks, repeat 3 times, and then do XYZ. So it's that kind of deal.
Yeah, and I think the accountability is huge too, because people really
cardio, kickboxing, stuff like that.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think the accountability is a huge value add too, because a lot of people, they pay for accountability. Like somebody like me, I pay coaches and stuff all the time. Like I did a consulting call with somebody I was doing like monthly coaching with, and he was like, I mentioned to him, I was like, yeah, I got a call after this with my coach. He was like, you have a coach? I was like, yeah, I mean, I got to sharpen my shit too. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is. You pay for accountability.
Absolutely. And there's so many other skill sets that everybody has. It's just not your expertise. And I don't try to be the expert in everything.
Yeah, for sure. Me either. Definitely.
I learned that the hard way. You gotta delegate and let the pros handle it. And it's worth the investment, right? I tell people all the time, like, if my time is worth $100, $200, $300 an hour, why am I going to spend an hour, for example, cleaning my house when I can pay a maid to do it for $40 an hour?
Yep.
Right. So you got to think about that. How am I going to spend my time? And is it better to just pay someone to do it faster? Like there's a course coming out or a add-on for a support site for high level. Well, to record all those videos would take me hundreds of hours.
Yeah.
Or I can pay a guy who's already white labeled it $500 one time.
Yep. Boom. Yep. All right. Let's see. Nathan said, what do you actually, hold on. Let's see. Brianna said, why do your clients continue to pay you instead of just going with your one-off service? Do you have a one-off service?
I have a one-off service.
Okay. I think she got that mixed up between like you doing, like you teaching them versus you like done with you versus done for you. I think that's what she got.
That's a different price point.
Got it. Let's see. Nathan said,
inside my program, if you just pay the software fee, there's training on how to set up your own Facebook ads. I'm just not doing it for you. But if you pay the additional fee, then I set it up. We run it for you, the whole 9 yards.
Got it. Cool. Nathan said,
let me tell you why. Let me tell you why.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
The reason why I'm pushing away from my agency actually running Facebook ads is because I don't want to be tied to the results. I've done Facebook ads for so long. And Alex, you know this too, they are volatile.
Yeah.
At any point, anything could happen, and you're tied to those results. So if you can't get the cost per lead right, if you don't have the right content, if you don't have the right videos, it's then your problem. Why didn't you give us enough leads and we weren't able to sell and we blah, 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 blah.
Especially the content, dude.
I don't want to have that conversation.
Especially the content. That was never something that I enjoyed doing. And that's why I moved over to mortgage. I use like the same 4 images pretty much every single time. Exactly. And I switch out like once a collage, I'll switch out like a home that's like, relative to that area. But
yeah. So I did the same thing where I said, I evaluated my time. How much, when I actually run somebody's Facebook ads, how much stress does it add to my life? How much time does it add to my life? And what monetary value do I get out of it? So when I saw the $500 extra that I charged to run their Facebook ads or whatever, and I saw the time and stress and the way it affected my life personally, said it's not worth it. I don't want that money. You can keep that money because I like freedom and I like peace of mind better than that. So I do offer 2 models because I think you have to, but I'm trying to steer away from that. I rather coach and consult people how to run their own ads and leave that on them, and me offer a software and a solution and consulting and things like that.
That's cool. That's cool, man. I like it.
that's just what I like to do. I don't really like to run the Facebook ads. It's kind of like when you've done it so many damn times, you're like,
Yeah.
I'm over this.
Yeah. No, I feel you for sure. Let's see. Nathan said, and if you guys have any last minute questions, ask them now. We got to wrap this up shortly. Nathan said, what do you cover exactly in your sales presentation of your services? That's probably a loaded question. But if you have anything brief that you can go over.
Sure. Generally speaking, I start out by, this is my sales pitch. I start out in the very beginning with building a relationship with that person, asking them about their gym, asking them about the current reality. What are you currently doing? What are you currently working on? What's your life like? I get to know them a little bit, build that personal value so that they can see I'm a real person, not just trying to take their money. I actually care about them. And then after that, I say, okay, cool. Based on the model that you're doing now or what you're trying to do, let me show you how our system works if you were to follow that same process. And then I take them through the funnel. If you were a customer and you clicked on Facebook ads, here's what you would get. And then you opt in. Once you opt in, here's where it shows up in my system. So I take them through the entire funnel and the process of what the customer would look like. And that shows the different features in the system itself.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Instead of just going down the features on the side where it's not connected and they can't understand, I actually take them through the process, and then it helps them understand, oh, I see it goes from here to here to here to here, right? So then I do that, and then I show them some of the results. Hey, here's some of the results we're seeing. This person just started. This person's been running for a month, blah, 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 blah. And we go back and forth. And then I basically just ask, are you looking to get started with something this week or next week? Or, where are you at currently? And I let them talk. And then after that, they pretty much, they sell themselves, or they tell me, hey, I'm not ready, or, what kind of deal can we work, or, just all the usual shit. But really, my number one asset is I'm extremely genuine, I'm extremely real, and I'm extremely transparent. So I don't put on this big sales presentation or look a certain way. When they come on my Zoom call, I'm like, what up? How are you? Great, cool.
Me too, dude. I wear a hoodie every single time.
Wearing a hoodie, keeping it real, and I don't try to fluff anything. Another thing you should do, I highly recommend that you show vulnerability to your customer. Show them some mistakes you've made. Show them some challenges you had. So then they can feel that you're a little bit more real and everything isn't just roses and sunshine all the time, right? And then they're saying, you know what? I'm willing to work with you, Rick. And so sometimes when I'm setting up these campaigns, I forget a thing. And the very first thing I say, oh, that was my fault. Don't hold it against me. Completely my fault. I'll get it fixed. And they're like, dude, don't even worry about it crushing. We're good. So I think that's important too, to show the person like how real of a person you are, how much you care, be genuine about it. And I think it makes the entire thing a lot easier.
Awesome. That's perfect. All righty, man. I don't see any more comments coming in. So I guess let's bring this thing to a close, man. Really appreciate you hopping on here and kind of sharing everything that you're doing. Especially with gyms, man. Like I've got some friends who I've got a couple friends who own gyms and things like that, and they're not really doing this sort of thing. So I can always shoot them your way, obviously, or I can mention it to them, kind of what you're doing. But like, it's so cool because like you're not only striving in your business, but you're really making a difference, especially like lowering that price point, letting them in, and then obviously you're going to pay your more expensive fee pretty much yourself by bringing in this revenue for these gyms. So. That's awesome, man. Really appreciate you hopping on here. So that's all I got for you, man. Do you have any last minute, minute tips or anything like that?
Last thing I would say is be yourself, build this for yourself, build something you're going to love and that you want to do. Don't worry about your level of competition. That's a scarcity mindset. There's 7.6 billion people on this planet. There's somebody who wants to follow you. There's someone who wants to hear your voice. There's someone who wants to see your style, right? And so there's how many other gym marketing agencies are in the world? 100, thousands? Why would anybody pick me, right? I'm not as big as Alex Hormozi and some of these other guys. They're 100 millionaires, millionaires. That's how big they are, right? If I would have took that mindset and said, man, the competition is too big. I can never compete with those guys. And that's how I started. I started with that mentality. Yeah. But then over time, you start to see like this guy actually doesn't even know who Alex is, and this guy doesn't know this, and this person. Do you know how many marketing agencies know about high level? 10,000 maybe.
Yeah.
You know how many are in the world? 100,000. Right.
Right.
There's opportunity out there, and you just have to think that and be extremely confident in what you're doing, and really believe in it, and have a why. Right. Let me tell you my why. My number one why is for my entire life, I was a single parent child. My mother since the day she was 18, worked her ass off to make 40 grand a year so I could go to college, live a great life, have all these great things going on, and she's getting no return for that. At 60 years old, she's still doing a job that she absolutely hates. I make more money than her, and I live a better lifestyle than her. That doesn't make sense in my book.
Yeah.
So I'm helping my mom retire. So every day when I get more money or I make another step or I make another leap, it makes me want to cry because I know I'm one step closer to helping my mom retire. And that motivates me more than anything you could ever understand. So if you truly find your why, when you're at your worst moment and your client cusses you out or they want to cancel, you just have to remember, nope, I'm not doing this for me. This ain't about me. This is about why. And you'll push through that and you're like, nope, it's worth it. So I think the why, people talk about that all the time. It is really important, whether it's to pay off your college, get away from that 9 to 5, you got to feel that in your soul and it will really drive you past, all these little obstacles that you have on the journey. So I want to build confidence in everybody. I will tell you, like, anyone can do it, guys. Anyone can do it. I started from the bottom with nothing. I made some major mistakes in my 20s. Everyone would tell me, my family would tell me, you're never going to amount to nothing. You're going to blah, blah, blah. Rick is blah, blah, blah. They didn't understand. I had a dream. I was stuck in my vision. I don't care what anybody says at all. People still don't understand my model. I don't care. I don't even care. Rick, you mean you do a business all online? All of it? Like, you don't have anything to offer and sell? Because a lot of people can't understand that you can make millions of dollars online.
Right.
Dude, I ain't worried about what you're saying. I'm standing in my zone. So then when you come out on the end, you can say, you thought I couldn't make it. Right. I encourage all of you guys to dive in with Alex. Follow everything Alex does. Follows his course. I told you many times, man, you changed my life. It really gave me a focus because you were very genuine and very real. And I saw that it was actually attainable results and it wasn't some ridiculous pitch. Right. And so I stuck with you, slowly followed it, tried it, and then found my own personal path. And now here we are, reaping the benefits.
Good stuff, dude. Really appreciate it. And shameless plug here. I'm really excited about it, though. But if anyone's interested, I am reopening the Inner Circle for the first time in like months, sometime next week or early the week after that. So
you'll get half the client and pay for his course. It's not even.
Yeah, it's like, come on. It's it's a no-brainer, to be honest.
Everybody in the program, a days of frustration. Just pay the money, follow the steps, boom, done. Save yourself the frustration.
Everyone keeps yelling at. Like, I've been yelled at quite a few times from people in the program. They're like, "Dude, you need to raise the price." And I'm like, I don't know, man. There's like so many like super expensive.
My gym owners are like, bro, you need to raise this to $1,000. I can't. Yeah. They're telling me that, and I'm like,
yeah,
okay, you're right.
Yeah. I will in a couple months.
That's so cool. Even if you don't see the strategy, like for me personally, every single thing I do and say is a strategy. Everything. There's a reason behind why I say it and why I do it. I'm not just haphazardly throwing out prices and saying there's a strategy.
So cool, man. I know you got to hop off. I got to hop off as well. You said you got that call in like 5 minutes. So
about new clients, baby. I'll be about 45-ish after this.
Good stuff, dude. Good stuff. But yeah, man, really appreciate you hopping on. Everybody, give us some likes and hearts. If you guys got any value from this engagement, give us a 7 in the comments, the number 7 in the comments. And
in the comments, I'll jump in and answer them when I get a chance.
Cool. Perfect. Same here. Alrighty, guys, let's bring this thing to a close. Again, Rick, appreciate it, man. We're going to end it now, and I will catch you guys later in the group.
Cool. Appreciate all you guys' support.
All right.